We talked before about conditional sentences, right? Do you remember how many kind of conditional sentences we have in English?
0,
How
1,
many?
4.
4 kind of conditional sentences, right? Okay, what are the parts of conditional sentences? Do you remember how do we form the conditional, the parts we have in a conditional sentence?
Is the word if,
Clause.
main clause,
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, we have the condition, that is the if clause, and the result, right? The condition, the if clause, and the result. And we said we have the zero condition, the zero conditional. This is something we learned before. When do we use it? The zero conditional?
Routine.
When something is true.
Yes, when we are talking about something that is generally true, routines, for example, habits, right, that we do generally, facts that are generally true, right? And do you remember how do we form the zero conditional?
with the tense in present.
Okay, we use the present tense in both parts of the conditional sentence, right? The present in the condition and the present in the result. Okay, and here we have an example that we have seen before. If you stand on the rain, you get wet, right? What about the other conditional we have here? The
First,
first conditional. When do we use the first conditional?
To talk about possible things.
Very good. To talk about possible things in the future, right? Very good. And how do we form it? ¿Cómo lo formábamos?
present, future.
Present simple in the if clause, in the condition, and in the result, we use the future simple, right? We can use will and the verb, or want and the verb in the base form, right? Here we have an example. If you study, you will pass the exam. This is a possible situation in the future, right? And then we have the zero conditional, sorry, the second conditional, that is the one that we are going to practice today, okay? So we use the second conditional for unlikely situations in the present or in the future. So unreal situations, hypothetical situations, imagine situations in the present or in the future. We use the past simple in the if clause, and in the result, we use would and a verb. But we can use also here, instead, just we have other options. For example, we can use could and we can use might in this result, okay? For example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. This is something we have seen before. And the third conditional for imaginary situations too, but in the past, right? And we use the the past perfect, and would have, and the past participle. If you had studied, you would have passed the exam. Okay, so we have seen these two before. Today we're going to focus our attention on the second conditional tense. Okay, let's see here. So we have the condition and the result. As we said before, we use the simple past in the condition, and we use, in the result, we can use would, could, or might, plus the verb in the base form, okay? And we use this to talk about unlikely or impossible situations in the present or in the future, okay? So let's see some examples here. If I were rich, I would travel around the world, okay? As you can see, here we have the simple past and would plus a verb in the base form. Something I want you to notice is the verb in the past here. What is the verb we normally use for I?
Was.
I was. right? This is a verb that we normally use. I was, or we can say also he was, she was, or it was, right? Esto es lo que normalmente utilizamos. But in conditional sentences, we change the verb, okay? We normally use were. So we can say, if I were, if she were, if he were, or if it were, okay? So generally, we are going to see this in conditional sentences in the second conditional sentence, okay? No vamos a ver was. Puede ser que alguna vez lo vean, pero se lo considera algo más informal. Casi nunca lo van a ver, ¿ok? Con el was, pero generalmente todas las oraciones de conditional son con were, ¿ok? Si estamos hablando del verbo to be. So, the question is, what would you do if you were rich? Imagine that you are rich and you have a lot of money. What would you do? How can you answer this question? What would you do if you were rich? Tell me, please. Negrete, what would you do if you were rich?
Well, teacher, if I were rich, I would buy a PlayStation 5.
Ah, okay. Yes. What about you, Alison? Alison, what would you do if you were rich?
If I were, sorry,
Mhm.
if I were rich, um,
I.
I would um, travel around the world.
Don't copy my sentence. What about you, Roberto? What would you do?
Um, if I were rich, I would buy a lot of games.
Mhm. Okay. Anybody else? What would you do if you were rich, guys? How can you answer the question?
If I were rich, I would buy a Tesla car.
Okay. Okay. What about you guys? Any other options?
If I were rich, I buy a new house,
A new
bigger
house?
than my old house.
Okay. Yes, it would be a good idea. Okay. Then we have here, he could have an autograph if he knew his favorite athlete. Okay, so as you can see, we can use could. Okay, with the verb in the base form, we can use the simple past in the condition. You know, we can change the position, right, of the condition and the result. And the only difference is that in the first one, we have a comma if we place the condition at the beginning. And if we place the condition at the end, we don't need to use a comma, right? So the question is, what would you do if you knew your favorite artist or your favorite singer, actor? I don't know. What would you do? Remember that you can use the different words here, would, could, or might. What would you do if you knew your favorite artist, athlete, singer, I don't know, actor? Let's see.
If I knew my favorite singer, I would have I would have No, I would take a photo.
Yes, I would take a photo with him or her.
Him
With him. Who is your favorite singer?
is Axel Rose.
Axel Rose. Okay, nice. What about you, Juan Enrique?
Mm. If I knew my favorite actor or actress, um, I will I will ask her for a photo to remember.
Okay, to remember the moment, right? You would ask him for a photo. Okay,
Yes.
any other options, guys? What would you do if you knew your favorite artist, singer, celebrity? What would you do?
If I knew my favorite famous person, I would try to make his friend.
Okay, you would try to become his friend.
Um,
Okay, it's a good idea. Okay, good. So we are going to use the second conditional in this lesson. Okay, do you have any questions before we continue?
Teacher,
Yeah,
what is the difference between would and might in this situation?
would and might.
And could and might. Could and
No,
might.
there is no difference. Maybe you can say could, por ejemplo, yo podría hacer esto. Ok, pero los tres son muy parecidos, entonces no hay mucha diferencia. Pero si usted quiere decir yo podría, por ejemplo, I could buy a car, yo podría comprar un auto, podría utilizar could. Y si no, puedo utilizar I would buy a car, yo compraría un auto, or I might buy a car. Tal vez compraría o conseguiría un auto. ¿Ok? El might generalmente, bueno, los dos, might and could, son menos probables, pero en este tipo de condicional significan lo mismo, tienen el mismo tipo de probabilidad, el mismo porcentaje de probabilidad. Entonces podría utilizar cualquiera. Depende de lo que quiera decir. ¿Ok? Aquí, por ejemplo, yo podría reemplazar I could travel around the world, or I might travel around the world. Podría reemplazarlo con cualquiera y no tendría mucha diferencia. Okay? Okay, let's go to the book. Let's see. Number 5, exercise number 5 on page 88. Look at the sentences in exercise number 4 and answer the questions. Okay? Number 1, are the sentences about real or hypothetical situations and their consequences? What do you think? In exercise number 4. Real or hypothetical situations?
Hypothetical.
Hypothetical situations, all of them, right? Okay. What about the next one? Do they refer to the present and future situations or past situations? What do you think?
Present situations.
Present and future situations, right? Both. Very good. No, we don't talk about past situations. And number 3, which form do we use in the if clause? And which form do we use in the main clause? So which form do we use in the if clause? Let's underline all the if clauses here. If clause, I guess we don't have an if clause here. If clause, here we have an if clause. If clause. Here we have another one. Okay, so what form do we use in if clause?
Past simple.
The past simple, right? And in the other clause, we use
would,
Would
could, may,
or
might.
could or might, right? As we have here, might. We have here would. Do we have any examples with could here? I guess we don't have, right? Examples with could. Okay. So let's continue. Here we have some examples of the second conditional with could, would, and might. It says unlikely or impossible situations and their consequences. Okay. If I won the lottery, I would work. I wouldn't work. Okay. As you can see, this is an unlikely situation. What would you do if someone stole your phone? Okay. This is another imaginary situation. I'd drive to work if I had a car. This is an imaginary situation too. If a stranger invited you to a party, would you go? Okay, so it says we can use could or might instead of would. Okay, for example, if they lived in the country, they might be less stressed. Okay, so we can replace without any important change in the meaning. Okay, let's go to do the exercises here on page 131. Here we have the whole explanation if you want to check while doing the exercises. So let's do number 1. Complete the second conditional sentences with the correct form of the verb in the parentheses. Very easy. Okay? Let's go with the first one. Please. Roberto, how can we complete the first one?
With the second conditional, if I could live downtown, in downtown, I wouldn't have to. ¿Cómo? Me acabo de confundir.
Ok, vamos a escribirla para luego verla. If I could live in downtown. Recuerden que cuando decimos downtown no es necesario decir on, in, or at the, solamente downtown. No necesitamos ninguna preposición, ¿ok?
Can I say I wouldn't walk?
Ok, pero
no?
aquí en el paréntesis no
I
nos dice
wouldn't walk.
Ok, pero aquí en el paréntesis no nos dice que utilicemos not, ¿cierto? Entonces, no es necesario.
Entonces le peleé.
Ok, hagámoslo de nuevo. ¿Cómo sería? If I...
Ya me olvidé, teacher.
Ok, recordemos. En la if clause, ¿qué teníamos que utilizar? En la parte del if, ¿qué tiempo gramatical?
Past.
The past, the simple past, right? Y en la segunda parte podemos utilizar could, would y un verbo, ¿cierto? Entonces, ¿cómo sería acá?
If I lived.
If I lived, right? If I lived downtown, I
could walk.
I could walk
to work.
To work, right? Very good. You can use could, would, or might. Let's go with number 2, please. Carla, this city
would be much nicer if there were less traffic.
Yes.
On the street.
There were less traffic on the street. A ver, creo que le puse less de nuevo. There were less traffic on the street. Very good. Let's go with Raúl, please. Number 3.
If you got up a bit earlier, you couldn't be late for work so often.
Okay. You couldn't would be okay. I guess in this sentence it's better if we
Wouldn't.
use wouldn't or might not because of the sense, maybe. Wouldn't be. If you wouldn't be late for work so often. Very good. Let's go to the next one, please. Alison, number 4.
If we had a bigger car,
Mhm.
we
had-
could can couldn't could
We could take, porque aquí ya tenemos el verbo, ¿cierto? Entonces no necesitamos poner otro verbo. We could take more things on vacation with us. Very good. Negrete, number 5, please.
Maybe it's, what you did if someone
What?
you did in past no teacher the verb.
Pero aquí tenemos la if sentence al principio.
No.
Mm-mm.
So what did you do?
Ocupamos el simple past.
Yes.
Ok, vamos a hacerlo. What did you do if someone
Stole your car?
stole your car? Like this?
Yes.
Okay. Remember that we use in the if part, we use the simple past, ¿cierto? And in the other part of the sentence, in the other clause, we use
Modal verbs.
yes. So, no utilizamos did acá, ¿cierto? Utilizamos
Would.
would, right? Would. What would you do if someone stole your car? Right? Very good.
Yes.
Let's go with Fanny, please. Number 6.
You could play basketball if you be a bit taller.
¿Cómo hacemos el verbo be en el pasado?
You were.
Were.
Taller.
If I were, right? I could play basketball if I were a bit taller. Very good. Diego, please. Number 7.
If I were you, I make ask my boss for a promotion.
Okay. I might, right? I might ask
I might ask.
my boss for a promotion. Yes. The next one, please. Leonardo.
Okay. If you didn't spend so much money on clothes, you were to be able to afford a new phone.
Okay. If you didn't spend, you
Were to be able to afford a new phone.
vamos a cambiar un poquito acá. You were able to. Okay. You
Okay.
were able to. Pero vamos a. Aquí tenemos la if clause. ¿Cierto? Y aquí ocupamos el simple past. Y en la otra parte de nuestra oración, en el resultado que ocupamos.
You would able to. Sorry.
Ok, ¿cómo sería entonces? You.
And you would able to.
You
You could able to.
be able to.
Be able to.
Would be able to. Okay? You would be able to afford a new phone. Okay? Any questions about this exercise? Any doubts? Okay. Let's do the other one, okay? I want you to do this one, exercise number 2. I'm going to give you some minutes so you can complete it. Complete the second sentence. Use the second conditional to link the situation in the first sentence. For example, number 1, I'm lazy. I always get bad grades in school. If I wasn't lazy, aquí como pueden ver, aquí ocupan I wasn't. Así que pueden ocupar cualquiera, pero generalmente van a ver weren't. If I wasn't lazy, I wouldn't always get bad grades in school. So you have to do exactly the same with the other sentences, okay? Okay, let's see sentence number 2. I have a small bedroom. I don't have enough space for all my books. What do we say here? If I
had a big bedroom, bedroom, I will have enough space for all my books.
Okay, if I had a bigger, we can say, a bigger bedroom, comma, I would have enough space for all my books, right? Okay, what about the next one? Number 3. It's so hot today, I can't concentrate on my work. If
it's colder today, I could concentrate on my work.
If
it's colder today.
Okay, if it's colder or was colder or were colder, as you want.
Were colder.
Cualquiera de los dos pueden ocupar. Was or were. Cooler sería, ¿no? Cooler, si estuviera más fresco, cooler. I could concentrate on my work, right? Any other options?
I did. If I weren't hot today, I could concentrate.
If
it weren't hot today.
Yes, if it weren't, right? Yes, we can say that too. If it weren't so hot today or hot today. So hot, it's better, right? I could concentrate on my work. Number 4, I don't get any exercise. I'm so out of shape. If I
got some exercise, I wouldn't be.
I wouldn't be so out of shape. Very good. So out of shape. I feel tired. I can't play tennis this afternoon. If I
were tired.
If I were tired?
Weren't,
right?
Weren't tired.
Weren't tired. I
could
play tenis this afternoon. Algo que les recomiendo mucho es que en el examen, sí, esta oración está súper correcta, pero algo que les recomiendo mucho es que en el examen ocupen los mismos verbos que tienen en la oración, si es que tienen algo así. Ok, entonces, if I, ¿qué diríamos acá utilizando el verbo?
Didn't
Didn't.
If
feel.
I didn't, right? If I didn't feel tired. Number 6, I drink coffee in the evening. I don't sleep well. If I
Didn't drink.
didn't drink coffee in the evening, ¿qué más?
I might sleep.
I
Would, might, could, cualquiera de ellos. Sleep better. Okay, very good. Any questions about this exercise here? No?